trusting that even if the action you're taking now is a mistake, then if you learn something, it's no longer a mistake, right? Or merely a mistake. It may be a mistake, but it's not merely a mistake only if you learn something.
Get up, everybody move.
Hey, and welcome back to Get Your Mind Right. I am your host, Soul Expression, and I'm really happy to be with you. So on today's episode, I want to talk to you about what is under your control. What is under our control as human beings? You see, we live sort of a double life. In one hand, we're kind of pulled and pushed everywhere, and we have to find ways to survive and how to be, in peace and in harmony, and we have to make certain decisions that don't ruffle the feathers too much of everyone around us. But at the same time, right, that's one half of the double life. And the other half of the double life that we all live is that we make our own decisions and we think for ourselves and we follow who we want to follow, disregard who we want to disregard, and simply do our own thing, right? Now, there's varying degrees between people. Some people may be leaning more towards survival. Some people may be leaning more towards like living and thriving in their own energy. And some people have a really good balance between the two. But either way, no matter which side you're leaning towards, there's only but a few things that you really have control over. And by control, I simply mean things that you always can use to your advantage, in no matter what the situation is. And so what are these things that we have control of, right? Because we don't have control over the weather. We don't have control over like earthquakes and natural disasters popping off. We don't have control over other people. We don't have control over the big corporations and the big 1% that owns the world monetarily or anything like that. We don't have control over these. So what do we have control over? And let's go ahead and get into the discussion. So we have control over four main things. First is creativity. And creativity is not necessarily in line with you forcing yourself to come up with some sort of creative, solution or piece of artwork or something like that. It's not, any artist or any creative mind will tell you creativity is not in line with force or mandate, but it's actually perfectly aligned with patience and calm and a relaxed mind. Now you can create quickly and you can move and direct your energy quickly and change change up very quickly. But creativity itself is perfectly aligned with relaxed mind, calm, and the virtue of patience, right? Even though you're being patient, that doesn't mean you're being slow with your actions. It just means that you are in control. And what creativity is, essentially, is the ability to, what is creativity? Creativity essentially is the way that you make your life into what it is. So if you have been misusing creativity, then your life won't be necessarily in alignment with what you want. If you have been using creativity properly, then your life is probably directly in line with that which you want most for yourself and the world. You see, so creativity is the first thing that we have control over. Second thing is attitude. We have control over attitude. Attitude is not in line with just straight up survival mindset and I have to do what I have to do because I have to do it, if not I'll die type of mindset. Attitude is actually in perfect alignment with gentle acceptance and allowing. You see, when you are able to allow people and situations to be what they are, then usually you are also able to hold a good attitude. And a good attitude is essential for any amount of success or for any amount of getting what you desire in life, is a good attitude, right? And it's not necessarily always an attitude of optimism, but it is connected to optimism, and it is connected to, seeing the good in things, right? Or if you can't see any good in it, seeing the good in yourself and learning a lesson from that which you don't have the ability to see the good in. And then you can see the good in that, right? In your relationship to it. And so that's the second thing we have control over. The third thing we have control over is perspective. How are you looking at something, right? Perspective is not only in line with like dogma or public opinion, but perspective is in perfect alignment with the courage to rise above the norms and expectations. The courage to rise above norms and expectations. You see, perspective, or taking a high level perspective, or taking on, you could say, the right perspective. Sorry to be so absolute with my language, but I just want to make it so that you know what I'm talking about. Taking the right perspective in any situation usually requires you to step back from the dogma, from the public opinion, and to take a look and say, is that what I really think? Is that what I really resonate with? And you have to take your resonance, your vibration into account, right? And if it's not really vibing with you, or if you know that it's only vibing with you temporarily because you want to express anger or frustration or sorrow and depression about something, or anxiety, then you know that you should probably reflect and shift your perspective to something more wise and something more accepting, like a good attitude. So, perspective, that's the next thing that we have control over. And the fourth and last thing that we have control over is our own decisions. Our own decisions is the fourth and last thing we have control over. And I say decision is not in line with haste and worry, right? Rushing and worrying about the outcome. But instead, decision is in perfect alignment with wisdom and focus. And when I say focus, I'm talking about definiteness of purpose, right? Know where you're going, and that will help guide your decisions. Keep a vision for your future in your mind, and that will help guide your decisions. I know that in my own life, as I was really focused on how to become the man that I want, that I am now, like that when I wasn't me now, and I was aiming to become the man I am now. And yes, I am now also aiming to be a better version of myself, and I have a vision of who he is, and I work towards becoming him every day. But as I was becoming me, the today me, what I had to do was keep in mind, what type of reactions does today me have? What type of vibes, and what type of friends, and what type of love situation, and what type of how does he live? And I had to start to emulate that. And in emulating that, one day I turned around and I was him. And what I was doing, what really caused me to want to upgrade myself and to leave behind certain bad habits was that I was single and I really, really wanted a love interest to show up in my life. And when I finally got one, I realized that not only did I get the girl, but I also got the myself that I wanted, to become when the woman arrived, when my wife Tensi got here. I was me. I was today me, but I wasn't, at all times on the journey to get here. And I'm nowhere near perfect, but I have left behind certain really bad habits, bad in my opinion, bad for me, bad habits for me. And so, the way that I was able to do that was by guiding my decisions via my vision for myself, who I wanted to be, what I wanted to have. Okay? So these are the 4 things that we have control over. Again, creativity, attitude, perspective, and decision. The 3 things that we want to leave behind: fear, doubt, and indecision. Fear and doubt cloud your ability to be creative. They usually provide you with a bad attitude and perspective, and they lead to an inability to decide. Right? So indecision is like the action of fear and doubt. And this could be self-doubt, or doubt in God, or doubt in people, or doubt in a situation getting better, or what have you. Doubt in your ability to create. Whatever it is, self-doubt or just doubt in general, paired with fear, always leads to indecision and confusion and all of these things. So just had a quick little message for you guys today. Hopefully you start to take more control and be more conscious and aware of these 4 things that you have control over, because you have control over them at all times. Creativity, right? And creativity is a special one, because it allows, when you cultivate it, when you practice creativity, it allows you to sort of play chess with life. You can see the ramifications and consequences of your actions far out into the future, right? Which is sort of the mark of a great leader, is they know the after effect of their right now actions way out into the future. Okay, that's the mark of a great leader. It's also the mark of a great chess player. So you can play chess with life with creativity. Attitude is essentially everything when it comes to keeping your vibe high. Perspective is what you probably need to shift in order to get into a good attitude, or to attain, you could say, a good attitude. It's just by shifting your perspective. How are you looking at something? If you looked at it from a different angle, would it change? And then decision, taking action, sticking to your action, trusting that even if the action you're taking now is a mistake, then if you learn something, it's no longer a mistake, right? Or merely a mistake. It may be a mistake, but it's not merely a mistake only if you learn something. So make decisions and take action on your vision and becoming who you want to be when you reach your vision. My name again is Soul Expression. Really, really happy that you watched this video. I teach these things as a coach and a guide, and also in a course, online course called Mentalism Mechanics. You can contact me via Facebook or Instagram, and the links below in the description. And I can't wait to see you all in the next video. Peace and love. So if you're new to Ufulu Child, make sure you subscribe to get more mind mastery content dropped straight into your YouTube feed. If you enjoyed today's episode of Get Your Mind Right, let me know by clicking that like button, and I can't wait to see you all in the next video. Peace and love.